Welcome to the On The Ramp podcast. Hello Leo. Second one today, mate.
Yep. Put a shift in today.
And we've got a celebrity with us today.
Who's that?
Where's she at? Welcome, Sophie, the otherwise known, aka the Tyre Lady.
Hello.
From Westgate Tyres. You've driven all the way down from sunny Morecambe or windy Morecambe. Windy Morecambe today. Welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad that you've made the trip down. I've left my sound on.
It's exactly the same time as the last
same time
podcast.
again. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Yeah, put your phones on silent, please. Yeah, thanks for coming down. You've got quite an interesting story that I want to get into, is why you ended up in this wonderful trade, but also how did the Tyre Lady become
the Tyre Lady,
the sensation that it is today? Because I see you everywhere, and you've been on radio, you've been on TV, and it just seems to be
everywhere.
Everywhere. Probably one of those things that you started off not realising what you're actually getting yourself into. So I think just over to you, really. How did you end up in this wonderful trade of ours?
So the tyre industry has always been in my family, as we obviously have Westgate Tyres, and we started in 1997. I was literally like 1.5 years old. My sister will have been like 8 or 9. And my dad has worked in the trade. He used to do truck tyres, worked for ATS. He was a supervisor for ATS. And the depot that we're in now actually used to be an ATS. So he's kind of gone back to where he actually worked, but it's his own business this time. Yeah. And he was doing it for a long time, and him and my mum were like having conversations, and they were like, do you know what, why don't we just do it for ourselves? So that's how Westgate Tyres was born. And if anyone's familiar with where we are, we have like 3 depots all on the same street, and the tiny depot that's in the middle, which is the exhaust depot, that is where we started. So it was called Westgate Tyres and Bumpers, and my dad used to fit literally tyres, wheels and bumpers. It was a max power days.
All right, okay.
It's a rare mix, isn't it?
It is a rare mix.
Many, it's normally tyres and exhaust.
No.
Tyres and bumpers.
So we had all the max power, fancy custom Renault Clio, bloody
all that
bumpers
kind
and
of
all
stuff.
Vauxhall Novas.
Vauxhall Novas, yeah.
The
actually,
amount of car
Clios.
shows that we used to get dragged to as kids was...
Dragged to, or did you love it?
Oh, I loved it, but it was weekends, always car shows. So
what was your dad's pride and joy back then?
He still got it. It's a P1 Subaru. So it's...
the original.
Well, not P1, sorry. It's an R1. And it's an import from Japan. So it's the P... It's the
God,
import
that must
version.
be worth some money now.
Yeah, it just stays away. It's got an original 22B spoiler on it. And...
When was the last time it was taken out for a good...
last year when it got MOT'd.
Oh, is that it? Is that what it's become?
Yeah, and underneath, I think he's spent over £50,000 under the bonnet. We've blown it up 3 times at car events when he's been trying to out-rev other people. But yeah, it's his pride and joy, and it stays in the unit where it is. But they used to have a Cavalier as well, which was their pride and joy.
And what was yours?
What engine was in the Cavalier?
Oh, I don't know.
You're getting him excited now.
Yeah.
Vox list
I don't
over there.
know, but they put a powerful exhaust on it, and it used to have like alloy wheels. It was burgundy, and I'm sure we got crashed into, so that's why the Cavalier died. But so I've always been around the car trade and everything, and then it wasn't really an industry I wanted to get into. I actually wanted to be a zoologist, and I wanted to find new species of animals.
Zoos to tyres.
All across the world, and I didn't realise at that point I had ADHD and dyslexia, so I struggled with all my exams, failed them. Went to college. My mum got bowel cancer, so I kind of flunked all my studies with that. And she's fine now, thank God. But I then went into hospitality, which is why I then like speaking to people. I'm a very people person.
Was that just because you just needed a job? Was you drawn to it?
I think a bit of both, really. I used to have a mobile cocktail bar that I used to put in the back of our work van and drive to people's houses.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's class.
It's called the Cocktail Club. So,
do you follow your ice cream man around?
Yeah, the little jingle going. But yeah, so I used to go to people's houses and do cocktail parties, and I'm a trained mixologist, so I trained with Revolution, so I used to work there as well. Kind of worked everywhere, really, and I think it's put me in like a good position to now work in this trade, because I obviously have to do loads of different stuff. So
fast-paced, isn't it? Dynamic, dealing with people.
Yeah, and I guess that gave you confidence as well to deal with the people and be in front of things. Or...
Yeah, I think it definitely did, especially drunk people, gives you the confidence to be able to handle awkward customers. So, but yeah, so then I did that, and then things went sour with a previous employer, and then I was just like, do you know what, Dad, I'm going to have to come back because I need to pay my car finance, and that was 10 years ago, and I've not left. So that's how I ended up back in the industry.
Do you think that your dad secretly wanted you to go there?
Back to the business?
Yeah.
I think so. I always wanted to be a mechanic, and my dad is very old-fashioned, and it's probably some of the attitudes that some people still have, and he didn't think that I should have been a mechanic. He said my hands were too pretty to be a mechanic, and that's not his views anymore. I think he regrets it, because I think if I'd have done my
Did you ever
training-
get hands-on experience at all?
Not really. I don't. I am actually booked onto my tyre fitting course in 3 weeks, so I'm looking forward
Because
to
you ain't got enough to do.
Yeah, yeah, because I ain't got enough to do.
Yeah.
But I do try and I service my own car. I do like
Oh,
I'm
so
trying
you
to
can
teach
do bits,
myself
yeah.
and stuff, and the lads try and help me. Bless them. I think I'm like the most awkward person to teach, but I just want to. I understand cars a lot more now in the 10 years that I've worked there, so it makes it easier for me to then speak to customers. 'Cause obviously, I'm technically the service advisor as well as depot manager and everything else that I'm doing.
So do you run the depots
Yeah.
now? So you're basically running the business
Yeah.
now?
Well, Dad's still there.
All three of them.
So they're all together on the same street. So it's
Yeah.
basically us just running back and forward.
Right, okay.
Dad's still there primarily. He won't retire. We always joke that we'll have to carry him out in a box. So he'll be there till the day he dies.
He loves it though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Which is a really nice thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a real positive.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I think if he did retire, he retired at 50 and he hated it. He did 6 months and came back.
Short retirement.
Yeah. And he's 66 now. So he just decided at 50.
Also, he retired before you joined
Yeah.
the business then?
Yeah,
Okay.
we had
a
like
manager in
a
place.
manager at that point. We don't have that anymore now because I don't know, people listening might understand our issues, but within independence that sometimes you get managers in that you think you can trust, and unfortunately
It doesn't work out.
Yeah, you can't trust them, and you find that things have been going on behind the scenes when you've trusted them. So I think we're now happy that we've it'll be me taking it over, because obviously Dad knows that.
Well, the trust is there, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that's definitely usually one of the positives of a family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that level that you'll put in, even if you did get a good manager, what you'll be doing over it's tenfold, isn't it, really? So
Yeah, and I think between me and my sister, so obviously there's my sister as well, she runs all of our marketing and social media. So between us, we're like a dream team.
Has she been there longer or shorter or?
I don't really know. Her industry that she went into was actually working with children. So she was a nursery nurse, and that's what she wanted to do. And then she had my niece.
Another really hard job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really hard job. I don't know how she ever did it. My niece is 15 now. And I don't know how long she's actually been back in the business properly. I should know that. Sorry, Emma, if you're listening to this. But I don't know. But yeah, so we both have probably come back similar time, because the nursery she worked at was closing down, and I don't think she wanted. I think it's probably similar timing. to be
Right,
honest.
okay. So talk to us about the garage then. So, looking at a picture of it now, it looks like a massive site, to be fair. Like, how many ramps you got, techs you got, what's the front of house set up, what's the day-to-day look like?
So front of house, you have me and my dad, and then we have Callum, who he's like the supervisor manager as such, but
Yeah.
he also is hands-on mechanics as well. So he
Yeah.
kind of flips between both. When we're off, he runs it for
Yeah.
us. So that's like your front of house, and then I think we've got 12 staff. I've got 3 apprentices. So I've got one 3-year apprentice, he's in his 3rd year now, Max, and then I've got two first-year apprentices who've just literally started, and then I should know how many staff I've got. There's 12.
Four techs?
There's more.
5 techs?
I've got Master Tech Gary, then I've got Trevor, then I've got Michael, Reese, Barry, Ryan.
You're naming
6.
names now. You know,
Yeah.
you know the person you missed is going to be really upset with
I
you.
know. I don't know who I've missed.
I don't know. I picture the ramps in my head and go, right, that ramp there's so-and-so, that ramp there's
Yeah, so I don't know, we're not as organised as some shops. I
That's a
mean,
busy old garage then.
Yeah,
It's a big.
honestly.
So how many? And is half of what you do tyres? So it's quite fast paced.
it's very fast paced. I'd love for you to come up for the day and just see like how
The
busy the extra
chaos.
cars. I feel like you can't explain.
Yeah, you
how
must be
crazy
doing a
it
lot
is.
of, how many tyres do you? You must be seeing a lot of customers every day.
Yeah, probably 40, 50 cars a day.
Yeah,
I
so
guess.
I asked my dad this the other day. I said, "What's the best day that we've ever had fitting tyres?" And he said 80 to 100 a day.
In a day.
Yeah. And then probably one of the best months we've had was over 2,000 tyres in a month. And that's a mix of cars and like
That's
commercial
insane.
vehicles. And we're literally that depot.
That's insane.
So
So talk to me about the process there, because 2,000 tyres a month, and half of the people you've just named are technicians. So how many tyre fitters have you got?
they're all like.
Oh,
just
so
do
they'll all chip
everything.
in. So
They
they'll
just do
all do
everything.
tyres.
So Gary's specifically like the master tech, so he works in the service centre, and then Max, who's the 3rd-year apprentice, again works sort of under Gary. So those two are who Max is going to be like the master tech, like the new one, if you know what I mean. So we're trying to put as much into him as we can. So we have like the service centre run by those two, but then we have like Callum, Trevor, Michael, and Ryan, who are all mechanically trained, and who also just flip between both for us. So we do like a lot of fast fit. We do a lot of like exhaust, brakes, suspension work, alignment. They do that. And then we have like Reese and Barry, who are he's not even called Barry, he's called James, but we call him Barry.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And they do like a lot of just tyres because they're not as mechanically knowledgeable.
To do 100 tyres a day on an average of, I mean, we're going to do 1.5 tyres per car as an average. Maybe, I don't know how many units per car that you do. That's like 60 plus cars a day.
Yeah.
And how many you got what have you got in front of the house?
3.
Me and my dad.
That's insane.
Or me on my own sometimes.
So like, what's so?
Do you stop? But you like
No.
like an
I'm
octopus,
I'm assuming these aren't booked in. These are just turning up.
Yeah, just turn it. We don't take
So you must have a
appointments.
lot of stock then.
Yeah.
As well.
I think we keep. Well, I thought it was about 1,000 units in stock, but I'm not actually sure. So at the back of what you're looking at now, there's a full container, which is all 13 to 15 inch in one container, and then we've got 3 shipping containers in the backyard. So there's 16 inch SUV, 17 inch. And then we have another shipping container down the side, which is all 18 inch tyres. And then down in the exhaust bay, which we don't do the custom exhaust anymore, that is just 19 inch upwards to 22, sometimes 23 inch, depending on what people have ordered in. And then on the other side of the depot is all like commercial tyres. And then we have bike tyres as well, and inner
So you do,
tubes,
but you do
implement
bike tyres as well.
Yeah,
do you? Yeah, because that's
But
bit
stock takes
trickier,
fun.
isn't it? Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
how do you
But
manage
you don't.
that?
You
We don't.
I was going to say, but you can't. Especially with 3 people, that'd be like a full-time job.
Yeah,
But
literally.
a customer walking in, let's say it's the 47th customer that day walking in to get a tyre fitted. That's at the back of one of those containers.
Yeah.
What do you do?
They just go and get
Go
it.
and get
out and fit
Or how do you know it's in there?
it. We
So it
just
should be.
It should be on our system, so we just hope it's there. I mean, to be fair, through suppliers, we get 4 deliveries a day. So we also, people come in the morning. If it's something that's not here, then we just get it for lunchtime. So obviously we use Bond International, and then we do get some deliveries from Mitchell Diva. Sometimes depends if we can't get hold of something, we might use Stapletons. Like obviously we flit around.
So you just hustle till you get
Yeah.
a solution.
What do you just write down all the tyre sizes in the day, and that's what you order every day, so you know what you've sold. And
Yeah, my dad, I've asked him so many times, please can you teach me, like, how do you know what, I mean, I should know by now, shouldn't I? But how do you know what you're ordering at the end of the day, like, to what you sold? And he's like, well, I just know we should have this, this, this. If you met my dad, he's a very, I don't know, you've never met him before, I don't think, have you?
Unless he was at the races, I didn't
No,
see
he
him.
wasn't. No, so he's a very, like, straight-faced, very, we call him miserable and grumpy, but he's lovely.
Resting
And-
bitch face.
Literally, yeah. And
I've got one of them.
interesting.
Yeah, and he literally, like, he could tell you, so a customer walk in and he'd go, 205, 55, 16. They haven't even told him what car they're in. He just remembers from last time.
Yeah, he's got one of them brains.
Yeah.
Which is all good until he's on holiday.
And I'm ringing him like, Dad.
Yeah, what's in that container? What's this customer have?
We mainly keep like 20, 205, 55, 16 budgets in stock and mid-range in stock. And then if someone wants...
But you must be turning through them really quick.
Yeah, we'll probably order them, like, again, that evening, like, order another 10 or order another 15.
See, this is what blows my mind about, like, we do a bit of tyres. We're not massive into it. We've got a couple of tyre sites. They'll do 600 tyres each per month, a couple of fitters
Okay.
in each site. So they're doing okay for what they've got, but to comprehend going to 2,000 tyres per month out of one site, just the logistics, the collections each day. You must have a collection every day
Yeah.
of casings.
No, once a week. They take about 1,000 a week.
Yeah, it's incredible. I would love to just sit there and experience. I've been in a couple of tyre shops, and it is. Have you ever spent time in a busy tyre shop?
Only when I've had some tyres fitted somewhere, and yeah, it always blows my mind at the pace that they work at.
Yeah, it's madness.
I honestly, people ask me all the time, and we talk about we talk about our business and stuff, and I think people are like, what? And then the amount of people that will come and see me, they're like, oh my God, it's so busy. And I'm like, I know, like, but I'm used to it.
That's the pace you come into, and that's
Yeah.
what you know. Do you do any mobile?
No. So mobile was one thing I wanted to get into, but Dad's always been very hesitant over it. But I'm not sure what's going to happen as to whether we will. And we're in talks with a company at the moment that potentially might be sponsoring us with something. So I can't talk about that in a sense. But we're not sure whether that might come
happen.
towards the end of the year. So
Do you do many alignments?
yeah, with every tyre fit usually. We always recommend. So obviously with how bad the roads are and everything.
I mean, you can almost pretty much guarantee that every car needs an alignment at the minute.
Well, that's some serious alignments as well, then, isn't it?
Yeah, so we still use a really, really, really old.
You're not using the
super
bits of
tracker.
string, are you?
No, not the string
Right,
one.
no, okay.
We
So
use a really
next one
old
up.
Yeah.
super trackers like that hook over with the red bar on because that's just what we love to use. And then obviously we also have.
They are a good bit of kit, to be fair. So simple.
I think they're really good for like the quick fast fit, but then we also have the new system that we got from JHM Butt, which is the Super line.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's like is it Ravio?
Yeah,
Ravio,
same
whatever it
machine.
is.
Yeah.
So it's the same machine, but it's a Super line. And then we do those.
That's
for
the
like,
machine we've got, actually.
Yeah, for the like newer setups and stuff, because most of the time the old Super Tracker's fine for like fast fit, and then when we
Was it
spend
the
more
Dunlop?
time-
Do you ever have the Dunlop gauges? Those little metal things. Did you ever have them where you look through?
Yeah, I think we did when I first did my apprenticeship at, yeah.
I probably wasn't alive then, was I?
No, really,
Yeah,
no red lasers.
mate,
No red lasers.
What she just said about you there. You missed
talking to
that,
you.
didn't you?
We had the lasers that fire across onto the little...
Yeah, that's
Things.
That's what we.
super-
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
right,
Super
yeah.
Tracker one
Right, okay,
that we've
yeah.
got. But yeah, we've never changed that. Dad says if it's not broke, don't fix it. So
I mean, it does the job. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like you get like these Hunter alignment, which we've got at like 30 odd grand, and then you can do the same job really, you know, with...
and also because it's paid for, it's pure profit as well. So I think that's the one thing my dad likes about it, because obviously the costs have been covered for many years. So
Not
it's
investing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never nice when you spend money to replace equipment, if it's like additional equipment, but when you're buying something to replace
Renewing
something
it.
else, it's...
Yeah, it's like when a four-poster goes down or something that you've got to...
Yeah.
So what do you do about TPMS then? You must do a lot of TPMS if you've
we
seen that
do
many tyres.
loads of
And
TPMS.
it's kicking in this year a bit more, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, TPMS is a massive thing for us. So I don't know if you've heard of a company called Bartec Auto ID.
No.
So we use their system and their sensors, and we use them because they're a great price for us to buy at and a massive markup on what we can make. But we are literally, I must buy about 50 sensors a month, maybe more, and we sell them just like that because the sensors are just going. And a lot of people don't realise about the valve stems that need to be done as well. Obviously, a tyre change is an extra £25 that we charge for that. And so we always put it to the customers. They don't always want to do it, but then they end up coming back the next week because the sensors, the valve stems leaking.
So what you're referring to then is if the valve, so not the sensor, the valve, the normal tyre valve, but on a TPMS, it's obviously, they're all different
stem.
kits, aren't they? All
Yeah.
different like service kits.
yes, the
You-
service kits.
You offer that as an extra when you're doing the tyre?
Yeah.
So it's just up to the customer?
It's up to the customer, just because we don't like to force it on people because obviously it's an extra cost.
It covers you as well when it's leaking 2 weeks down the line.
Yep.
I did
Yeah,
offer
if,
you.
if they've said no and it's...
Yeah, we do offer it. And obviously if you've got Fords are a nightmare for doing it. And then we also find that a lot of Hyundais are as well. They're really bad for it. But then over the past month, I think we've seen Hyundais, Vauxhalls and Fords have been the worst for the TPMS sensors dying in the cold. So we've done loads of sensors for them, like the full sensor. But the Bartec system's really
So-
good. It's called a right sensor.
When the car comes in for a tyre, do you scan the sensor anyway as part of the job? Or do you...
No, we don't actually, to be fair.
So it's just when the light's on?
Yeah, just when the
when there's
lights
an
on.
issue?
Probably should start scanning it, to be fair. It's not a bad thing to do that.
And what do you guys do? Do you do a lot of punctures?
Yeah, loads.
Or what are you charging for a puncture repair?
We only charge £20.
Okay.
Is that also, I guess, a bit of a... Because it might need a new tyre kind of thing, or...
I think, well, we know that there's garages that are nearby that charge 30 or
I was going to say, I think
25.
most prices that I know are about 30 quid. now.
And I think we're too cheap. But Dad doesn't want to change it from what we are because he says everyone comes to us. And then someone comes to us for a puncture for £20. Then when they come to think of tyres, they go, oh, actually, I'm going to go there because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
only charge me £20.
Yeah.
And also, we're the only probably garage in the area that actually doesn't make you make an appointment. So you can just turn up. You
that's
just wait 20 minutes and you get
convenience thing
seen.
again, isn't it?
Do you have, if it's just turn up then, is your customer base trained to just, I'll just rock up there when I need a tyre?
Yeah.
See, it's madness, isn't it? I get it, the tyre game, like I do completely get it.
I guess it takes away a lot of admin of like taking a call, booking it into a diary.
Yeah,
and-
but you're thinking, oh, I've not got no admin to do, but I've got 24 vehicles waiting out there and I don't know if I've got tyres in stock. And
Yeah, I think it is stressful because most of the times when a customer comes and says, do you know what size tyres you've got? And they're like, oh, I don't know. They're just black and round, which is a typical thing everyone always says.
Yeah.
So then I'll go out and check and I'm like, well, they're actually staggered fitment. That's a run flat. I need to order that in for you. Can you come back at 1:30? I'll get it here for you. Then they're like, yeah, it's fine. I'll come back because they can come back and can go off and do what they want.
is there a busier period of year for you on tyres? I know the auto centre world goes in flows, but what about the tyre world?
I don't really know. I think January seems to have been really busy for us. I think January was the best January we've had, and I don't
What,
really
in terms
know.
of volume, in terms of tyre volume?
Dad said we sold 400 more tyres than we sold last January. And we did that in December as well, in the month. So December and January we sold 400 more than we sold the year previous. So me and my sister say it's down to art.
Have you got tyre shops local to you?
Yeah, there's one on the same road.
Are they busy?
No.
They're all going
Are
down
you?
the road.
Do you price? Are you cheap or are you well priced or?
I think we're just reasonable. I'd say we do. The other thing we do as well is we have a website, which is an AGM website, and we use that with Bond, and we put our prices on there. And we do it slightly cheaper online to generate traffic to the website. So then people are looking at like what other stuff we do, services wise and stuff, and then they can order tyres online. They don't pay from there and then. They just order them and then they get delivered the next day.
So Bonds will deliver them to you.
Yeah. So that systems works really well for us because people can people will ring up and I say, well, if you have a look on our website, if you're not sure, compare different tyres and such. Because a lot of people ring up for advice, but then they almost don't want to take your advice. They're like, okay, I'll have a look myself. So I think that website works really well. But other than that, it's just word of mouth, really.
So if someone was considering setting up a tyre business, ask you a really difficult question. Like, how would you summarise what makes a successful tyre business? Obviously, it's time and reputation, which is obviously really strong. But why are you guys as busy as you are? Because that is about as busy as I've seen in a single tyre site.
I think it's really difficult because I think my dad has built up such a good reputation for like us as a family business that people just do come to us because they know us as you can just turn up. There's no hassle. If we haven't got something available, we can get it that hour or the next, even with parts, battery fits and stuff like that. I know it's different to tyres, but we can literally just do it there and then we'll just get it sorted for you.
So it's almost become staple in the town.
Good old-fashioned service. Sort of
thing. I think that's why Dad's never wanted to change it. Like, we have a lot of people that come and see us and they say, oh, you need to put this system, you need to do that. And he's like, I don't want to because it works right for us. We're still making money from it. I don't want to change it. But I think if you were going to set up a tyre business, you just have to make sure that you have the right stock. You need to know your area, which I know is really difficult.
Is having the stock important, having it on site?
So, massively. I think it is because you literally so we get a lot from where we are. You head up M6 if you were going to go up to sort of like Scotland or Lake District or whatever. We're obviously junction 34, so we get loads of people who are
travelling up there.
A blowout, and they'll ring up and say, the AA said, have you got this in stock? You always have stuff in stock. So then they'll get brought to us, and then they know us then if they're ever coming up this way that actually they always have it in stock.
Yeah, so it's just an easy answer, isn't it?
I literally had a customer a few weeks ago and he got the ferry from the Isle of Man, came to us for 4 tyres, then went back that afternoon on the ferry back to the Isle of Man because we were £70 cheaper than what he could have bought his tyres for on the Isle of Man, and it was cheaper for him to buy a ticket, get the 4 tyres, then go back. And apparently he's used us for years.
I wish I had that level of time available to save 70. Spent 8 hours, saved 70 quid.
So
when did the service centre become a thing then? When did you get into mechanical repair?
So we were starting to do a lot of mechanical repair out of like the main depot that we're known for now.
That's the one on the left?
Yeah, the one on the left. And because we were getting so busy, in that depot we only have 2 ramps. So we have a 4-post and 2-poster.
So you did 2,000 tyres out of 2 ramps?
Yeah, we just used the car park. So we did it. And so we have the 2 ramps, and then obviously the 4-post is what we use for alignment. So we only have that one. And then because we were doing a lot more mechanical work, it was taking up the space. And obviously the 4-post ramp, we then couldn't use it for alignment. So we kind of thought, do you know what, next door's coming up. And Dad said, do you know, we're just going to bite the bullet, we're going to do it. So we only have 2 ramps in the service centre.
It's a no-brainer when next door comes up, isn't it, when you're that busy?
People that you speak to in opportunity,
Yeah, so altogether we have 2 Hoffman ramps in the service centre, and we have a Benpack ramp in the exhaust bay, Benpack ramp, 2 Benpack ramps, I think. In the main depots we've got 5 ramps altogether. Okay.
And how have you found, like, if you had to pick a business to run, as you could only have one of those businesses, which one would it be?
Tyres.
It would be tyres?
Yeah, massively.
Have you found the so service centre then you started that 6 years ago, did you say?
Yeah.
So has there been quite a lot of learnings from that? If the whole family's been kind of more tyre, or is it being fairly?
Do you know what I think the biggest difficulty has been? The complexity of vehicles, as you know, like how they're changing, and then like as an independent, how much access we actually have to that vehicle. So do you know, like the service history being on the keys, and like obviously it's difficult because customers don't know what they've had done because they've always been to BMW. So then they have no service history to then say to us.
Lots of barriers, isn't there, to try and actually...
I think navigating like all the different things that can go wrong, like ADAS, that kind of stuff, and like customers buy cars but don't understand what they're buying. So then you're then educating that customer on what they've bought, and they just kind of have to take your word for it, even though they've bought it. And I think sometimes that's really difficult because I feel like we almost don't have the backup of like manufacturers, whether it be even tyre manufacturers, car manufacturers, parts and stuff. We don't have the backup to explain what we're explaining. So I do think that's one of the biggest sort of issues we find. And I much prefer tyres because it's so simple. And some people don't find it simple, but because I'm so obsessed with them, and I like love talking about how they get made, the different tyres. Like I get really like it when customers come and say to me like, "What tyres would you recommend?" Then they get the full.
They don't know what they've just asked.
No, they're there
Sit
for another
down.
half an hour. So for me, I think because it's just a massive passion, and obviously it's the only point of contact with the road as well. So I think that's the bit I enjoy. But then obviously you got your fast fit bits that come with it. I think if I was going to open my own garage and I was on my own, I think what I would do is tyres and fast fit. So I'd do like, you know, your typical brakes, suspension, alignment, tyres, and then maybe like we've done when we know kind of understand that kind of process, then look at doing the servicing with the filters and oil and filter and stuff. But
It's so difficult to draw that line though, isn't it? And you can see people who've travelled in both directions.
yeah,
Where
Yeah,
they
you don't
start
see
as a
many
tyre.
people doing it all, do you?
No.
So are you kind of running the service centre yourself?
not really. The thing is I say depot manager, but basically the whole thing, we just run the whole
Right. Okay.
garage together, so it
Yeah.
just flows as one. And that might sound really daft.
So it could be a
but
service, it could be tyres, or
everything. It doesn't matter what it is. There's my dad, me, and then whoever else is maybe helping us in the office that day, because all of the lads just chip in as and when they can. We just run it as a whole and just take over basically.
It isn't, when you look at both those industries 20 years ago, the tyre industry kind of looks the same. I know tyre tech's moved on. We've got TPMS involved. I don't know. Apart from that, a tyre is still a tyre.
Yeah.
And I know the machinery is improved to help fit the tyre, but then you look at what's happened to the service repair industry, and it's just gone bonkers, hasn't it? All the tech involved, the complexities, like you said, the access to data.
Yeah, or emissions related
It's
kind
just
of advancements, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I guess it's a tyre. How much more advanced can it? I mean, there have obviously been lots of
Well,
advances in tyre technologies, isn't there?
It's one of those industries where the people in charge of the tyre technology don't want to advance it too much because they'll sell less tyres. It's like you see these airless tyres, and they've been on the horizon for years. Like I remember reading about them 10 years ago. Never happened.
It never will happen, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, you'll know a lot more about the tech than I do, but it's like,
Yeah, didn't Tesla something look at? Wasn't there some talks of them having something like that? Like a
Well, it was Michelin were going to bring out an airless tyre. They're still in the talks. They've actually made one, I think, haven't they? But it's still supposed to be all prototyped, and I don't think they've actually. The thing is, if it comes to that, airless tyres, or even, I remember speaking to someone at Goodwood, and it was a smart tyre company, and they were speaking about how you would buy this whole wheel. So rather than you putting air in, it's like crisscross steel wire. It's almost like what airplanes use, and then the rubber would go over the top. And they're trying to say that cars would just use these, and it was going to last better. But then when I asked the question of, well, when all the rubber's worn out with that, how would that customer then purchase another one? And they were talking it was going to be like between £800 to £1,000 for a new one. But then realistically, it's not feasible, is it?
when there's tyres out there for 40 quid new,
yeah,
it's just not going to work, is it?
You're not selling them at 40 quid new, are you?
To buy in,
Oh, I was
not
gonna
to
say.
sell.
Yeah.
Not to sell.
selling for 90.
That's what we're doing wrong. Yeah. Now it all makes perfect sense. On the Ramp is very proudly sponsored by Castrol and the race group from Certus Energy. Our own business, Lindley's Auto Centres, has been using Castrol products via the race group for at least 10 years. We get our own account manager. They help us set up the oil portfolios across the branches. And there's also someone to ring if we've got any technical queries or general queries. And having that relationship with the account manager, I think, is really important. We get dual branded workwear. So just like what I'm wearing now, we get this free for all members of staff. We get to use the Castrol brand across our entire business. So things like building signage, websites, general marketing, etc. And working with a globally recognized brand like Castrol, I believe, can really elevate your own brand. There's a rewards platform. So for every purchase, we accumulate points that we can redeem against certain items on this reward platform, which is pretty cool. And then there's an integration via our garage management software that allows us to actually see the exact oil product code that should be used in that vehicle, which in today's world and the complexities of oil is actually really helpful. So if you want to learn more about how Castrol can help elevate your business and you want to learn more about how the race group can help you, then please click on the link in the description below. Thank you. Okay. So out of all of this craziness and the busyness and everything that's been going on over the last, I don't know, leading up probably 6 years, how long's the Tyre Lady been a concept?
I think she was only born about 3 years ago, to be honest.
So you're as busy as you are. What made you decide that you wanted to do that? Or did you not really plan on it becoming what it's become?
I never actually planned on it. So I didn't name myself the Tyre Lady. So the whole reason that came around, obviously, I don't know, I've posted on LinkedIn for like 10 years, which I still can't believe I've posted on there for 10 years, to be honest. And I always posted about being in the industry because being a female in the tyre industry, I feel like it's still a bit of a rarity. There's not, I do see a lot of female techs, and in the service side, obviously you've got like Lou and Randeep and people who also have like the businesses, but I feel like you don't see many women in tyres, and there is a few more that are creeping out, and it's nice to see. So I always used to post about it and try and inspire other women to come and work in the trade, because there's so many different jobs that you can do. It's not just also,
you ain't got to literally be fitting tyres, have you?
It's massive, like everything, and it's such a wide trade as well. So I used to post about that, and then I was posting about tyres that we were finding because they were just horrific. And I think then I became like sort of known for posting about tyres, and I was going on different trips and stuff and testing tyres with like GT and doing all that kind of stuff.
That's all through LinkedIn?
Yeah, and obviously we used to be a GT radial dealer as well. We were pretty big on those when we bought loads from Mitchell Diva, and it was a nice little network, and it all kind of died after COVID. But we did loads of different testing trips and stuff, and I was the only other female that went, and I was only young then as well. So I think I was posting and stuff on there, and then I made like good connections with people. And then the real like sort of pivotal point in it was me and my husband were stood outside the business, and we were talking to each other, and he'd parked his van on the forecourt, and we heard this huge bang, and we thought someone had crashed into the back of it. And then when we looked round the corner, a lady had flipped a car on the roof literally outside the garage. You can see on that picture it's a straight road, and she'd crashed into a car that was parked on our forecourt, and she'd flipped a car on the roof. She was absolutely fine, but me and my husband were like first on scene. And that, for me, I was like, well, how the hell has she crashed? And then I started looking into all different parts, and I was like, so other crashes that have happened, what have the contributing factors been? And this is when the road safety passion bit started for me, because I'd always been infuriated when people came in with bald tyres and they're driving the kids around with it. So now I wanted to look at other contributing factors to crashes. And my husband became a firefighter from that. So we both kind of went into like different parts of life. Like he's now, this week he's actually doing his blue light training course. He's going to be a driver too, so he's like sort of doing that with his firefighting.
And that's come off the back of this accident.
He's always wanted to do it, and then when that happened, that literally that year, that November, he applied and he said, I'm doing it, because like,
does he enjoy it?
He loves it, absolutely loves it.
Because it's voluntary, isn't it?
So he gets paid, but he's on call. So he literally just wears a pager and he just goes as and when he's needed. But he has his own business as well. So he started doing that.
That's mad, isn't it? Oh, you should do that, Leo.
What's that? What the?
Be a fireman.
Yeah, why not you?
24/7 call.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Little pager.
Should we both do it?
You're bleeping now, mate. You need to.
You're bleeping now.
Yeah.
He puts his alerter above my head at night time because I wake up to it and he doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
So you're involved as well?
Yeah,
right, yeah.
Unfortunately. So yeah, he does that. So he did that from that, and then I started attending road safety conferences, and I must have been the only person from our trade that sat there. And I used to sit there and think, why are they not talking about defects on cars? Why are they not talking about tyres? All they ever spoke about was seat belts. You must wear your seat. Obviously, these are all really important things as well. But like, don't drink and drive, don't speed, wear your seat belt.
The obvious stuff, though, isn't it?
The obvious stuff, yeah.
But that all helps in an accident. It don't prevent it, does it? That the seatbelt stuff and all that.
It's funny you say. One of my friends only about a month ago, had all that rain in a Tesla, crashed it quite badly. He's lucky. He's walked away from it. When I spoke to him, his rear tyre and he lost it because on Tesla you got all the footage, haven't you, the cameras, and he lost the back end in like a load of almost like aquaplane
Like an
sort of thing,
aquaplane.
but it's a back end that went, and
Oversteer, yeah.
one tyre was below limit, and the other one, and again, like you think like if you had your kids in the car, and that was even though of an industry that long, just that little thing then was a real like, crikey, like
and
this
that is almost 100% down to the tyres.
yeah, well the back end's gone, and his tyres were like almost bald.
Tesla
aquaplaning.
drivers are the
Yeah.
worst for tyres. You drive a Tesla, don't you?
Not anymore,
Oh, do you not
actually.
drive it anymore?
So
Palmed it off.
back at you. It's funny you say that because when I did the MOT research a few years ago with the IMI, Teslas were the most likely car to fail
Yep.
on tyres, and significantly the most likely to fail on dangerous tyres.
Yep.
It was like 10% higher than, and Model X, that's the big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was the worst.
So you always feel, I've always felt like if you try and not try, but you advise tyres at like 3 mil or whatever, you kind of feel like you're trying to sell something, but it's generally not, is it? It is. Where's your stance on that? And
I do always advise it at 3 million. And the thing is, I think the tread depth should be raised because...
It is in Germany, isn't it?
Yeah, well, actually the legal limit is 1.6 in Germany. But
Oh, is it? I thought it was higher.
No, they still have the legal limit, same as us, but they make you take them off at 3 millimetres. So I don't know what it is. I remember speaking to someone and they said to me, no, the legal limit is still 1.6, but you always take them off at 3.
and
So
then
I don't know where the
winter
legalities
tyres
work.
is big, isn't it? And that sort of stuff.
So for me, I always advise at 3, and I always probably make most of the customers change them at 3 because obviously between 1.6 and 2, it's a credit card's width, so that's
Yeah, yeah.
nothing. And then you've just got a slightly bit more between 2 and 3. So I always say to them, like, it's a sort of minimal difference that you can't even see yourself, and it could prevent
Well, it
you
was
from
the-
aquaplaning.
Difference on
Yeah,
your
well,
car.
yeah, that's
crash,
what I
isn't
mean.
it?
Is it almost like because of the industry and the kind of reputation it's been of, trying to upsell stuff or whatever, and it makes you feel more awkward, but it shouldn't be because you're just doing the best for the customer, aren't
Yeah,
you, really?
I think it's just hard. I know we have this whole thing about our industry that we're trying to rip people off and stuff, but I think people need to understand that at the end of the day we're working on a vehicle that could kill them if they don't look after it.
And others.
And others, and that's the main thing for me. So I think because we've built such a reputation of safety, and then obviously going to like the road safety conferences, and then people knowing me, and then I've obviously won 5 awards over the past 2 years for doing everything with tyre safety and road safety. I do think we get taken a bit more seriously in our area because we're preaching
Yeah, you've got
for our
the.
community.
You're advocates of that, aren't you?
Yeah.
So how did that start to take? When did you realise? Hang on a minute. There's a lot of demand for this sort of messaging that you're going out with the Tyre Lady. Like, when did it start to become what it is today?
I think, going back to the conferences and stuff, I think nobody actually understood the importance of tyres. And, obviously I'd speak to a lot of police officers who...
So these conferences, these are the road safety.
Yeah,
So you're sat there listening to them, and they're not even talking about tyres.
No, and they handed me the microphone, and I said, "Why is no one talking about tyres?" And they were like, "Oh, we did that in the last conference." It's like, you should do it every conference because
That's crazy, isn't it? Really, because you think that they would see it.
I think they do. Do you know what? I think they do now, and I'm not saying it's because of me, but I think there's obviously the charity Tyre Safe as well, who at the time then I don't think they really did a lot, and they kind of preached to the same people. They kind of preach to us. We know what we're talking about because we're independents, but the people that they really needed to be targeting was actually the customer base, which now they're absolutely excelling with. And Tyre Safe have gone from sort of being not known to being really well known.
Is it Simon Irons still involved?
Yeah,
in
Simon
that?
Irons is involved with it. He's a trustee, but it's Stuart Lovett who is now the chair,
Yeah.
and there's Mike Bourne and Emma, and I've forgotten Emma's last name. Sorry, Emma Burley. So between them, they are really focusing on public facing campaigns. They're doing stop checks, and I've been involved in quite a lot of them, and it's been amazing to see how many road safety organisations, road safety personnel that they've engaged with all of these. And then I think from that they've then listened and they've implemented different stuff. So I did a lot of work with Cheshire Fire and Rescue Service, which is mad because obviously I'm not even in Cheshire, but we did a lot of work together, and we made a campaign that says the good, the bad and the ugly. And I gave them 3 tyres, a good tyre, bad tyre and an ugly tyre. And it's basically a massive big sign that they put out at loads of road safety events, and they put the tyres out with it, and people were coming over to it and they were like, oh my God, is that really what a bad tyre is? My tyres look like that. Oh my God. So I think creating these visuals and creating different things that the fire service was using, and I think through obviously Eddie being a firefighter, I was seeing hearing about what he was going to, and I was like, "Did you check the tyres? Did you look?" And he was like, "No, I didn't check the tyres." And I thought, I wonder if anyone actually does. So, I think the one thing that we were always lacking is data, because you can look at the amount of sort of KSIs of people with tyre-related incidents, and that there was 152 people, I think, killed last year due to a tyre-related
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow.
incident on the road. But there probably was more, but we just don't have the data for it because it's not always collected.
Yeah, and it could be marginal as well, isn't it? They're not entirely sure that it was.
Was it a contributing factor or just,
So what do you think is, do you think it's just ignorance? Do you think what?
Lack of education, isn't it? No one
I
really
guess
knows.
most people just wait for their MOT test, don't they, to get, you need a new tyre. I bet that's when most tyres are changed is...
I think it's a massive lack of education. That's one thing I've said. Like, they don't teach it in schools. They don't teach it even in like high schools, sixth form. And for ages, I've been wanting to try and get into some high schools and colleges and just do workshops and just kind of give them the basics so that when they learn to drive, they know what they're looking for. But then also, my little boy's 7, and he loves doing anything like that, obviously, because I do. But, like, he said to me, "Mummy, you should come into school and we should do something and, you know, teach us how to do the 20p check." Because I think the kids would then take it home and then enjoy doing it.
They would check the mum's tyres,
So
wouldn't they?
I think there's a lack of education. I also think there's a lack of understanding as well. But then I also think there's a percentage of ignorance because people don't want to have to spend the money. Because they don't see a car's a necessity, isn't it, to get to work or to get to wherever you need to go, but people don't see the fact that you need to do the repairs.
And it's another thing, isn't it? It's like, you know, like at home getting your boiler service, it's always that thing that's like, I've got to do that, but you put it off, and it's because everyone leads busy lives, and there's so many things, isn't there? You know, you go to work, you get home, it's kids, it's eating, and then you go to bed, and then you...
You do wonder how many people actually even understand the repercussion of a worn-out tyre, though. Like, do they actually even understand the problem that it might cause? Like, take your friend as an example who's had that accident. You can guarantee he's going to get his tyres changed now.
I don't know with him, he's like...
But you know what I mean? It shouldn't take that for people to realise that just the impact, like aquaplaning, for example, or braking distance, or... I mean, if you've ever had a blowout or been in a car that's had a blowout, you don't want that experience more than once.
And even I've not taken it seriously before. You know, I've kind of seen that as like, I'd change them when they
pop.
The bare minimum. Prefer to keep my cars long enough to have the tyres changed anyway. So
yeah, well, I mean, there is that. Yeah, you do have that slight problem.
I don't think it'll change, to be honest, because like my dad says he's been in the trade now over 40 years, and he says that it's not got better, it's got worse.
Really?
And I think, I don't know. I mean, you could say the government need to do more, but they won't do anything. So it's really difficult because, like, there's a whole thing around dot codes as well. Like, I had someone come into work the other day and they had a tyre from 2002.
What do you recommend?
I say 5-6 years.
6 years.
Because you see the breakdown.
So every car that comes in for a tyre, you checking the dot codes on the other tyres. So that's always checked, and then you'll recommend.
Always checked, because you can guarantee the cracking and perishing. I had a customer the other day and I was trying to explain to him that obviously because we're not the same as other countries who take off summer tyres for winter and winter, you know, swapping them around, that because we run on summer tyres all the time, you're more likely to see cracking and perishing prematurely than what you would see in like other countries. So I was trying to steer him towards an all-season because he said he lived in places where there is ice and snow because he wanted winter tyres. And I said, we'll get an all-season because it does both. You don't have to swap and change. And he said to me, I never even knew that. And I think he was an older gentleman. And he said,
he didn't know all-season was a thing?
No, he just didn't even know about like the dot code, didn't know about the perishing and the cracking. Yeah, it is being picked up more on MOTs and stuff.
So you know when you get deliveries of tyres, do you check dot codes?
Yeah, and sometimes you do get old dot codes. Yeah, we send them back though.
How old will you accept?
It's a difficult one now. Because
5 years.
5 years. I think we'll accept 2024, but you know, like sort of into the later weeks of 24, because obviously you have to give it time. It's been made, and then it's got to get here. It's got to get here, so you can't be too picky. But I also think if you can see the cracking and perishing, and the dot code starting to get to that point, obviously that's when I would advise customers to take them off. But I also don't want someone listening to this think I'm making people take them off just because of dot codes. I always check the health of the tyre anyway, because if it's like 6 years old and not cracking and perishing, then obviously there's no point.
It is one of those things where you get the visible, you can see it, can't you?
But there's some brands at the moment though that 21 and 22 dot codes, so not even that old, that are really badly cracking and perishing. I'm not going to name names, but they're bad.
What's your favourite tyre? Not one that, not. I don't want you to do any favours for anyone. What would you fit on your own car?
Well, I've got Churchill's on at the moment.
Okay.
Because Bond gave me them for free.
Yeah.
My favourite tyre, do you know what, actually? My favourite, I used to have an Audi S3 and it was my baby and I had to sell it to get my new house. And I swore by my Dunlop Sport Max RT2s because they were what I got the car with. And I used to, before my road safety
Give
day,
it some grief.
give it some absolute grief. And do you know what? Those tyres really stuck it out and they were great. They handled really great. And anybody that comes in with an S3 now, I always give them that advice. And I have a customer who absolutely loves them. He's had them on for 2 years. They've hardly worn and is religious with his alignment. He said to me, the best tyres I've ever had them. And then I have another customer that put them on his Lexus as well. And he absolutely loves them too. And I think they have to be one of my favourites just because of driving and handling them. But if you ever ask my dad used to swear by Toyos.
I was about to say Toyo Proxy T1Ss
Yeah.
or whatever. I remember them back in the day, boy racer
Is that what
days.
yeah.
Yeah,
There was a craze for them because they had like the quite a cool pattern as well.
Yeah, he used to swear by his Toyos. I'm pretty sure he's actually still got them on his Subaru now. But yeah, he used to swear by Toyos. And
I'm sure it's
Toyo what?
I'm sure it's a Proxy T1S or something like that. I think it
is
was
that T1R?
T1R might have been.
T1 is T1R, yeah.
And you got the R888s as well, which
And
are
they've
like
got a cool pattern on them.
the road semi-slicks, but they were great in dry but awful in the wet. I remember he put them on a Subaru once and it was just...
So you sell a lot of Churchills, don't you? Mm-hmm. And you've got Churchills on your car.
Yeah.
And is that so you can say to the customer, I've got them fitted on my car?
Yeah, do you know what? I think it is actually because when we used to sell GTs, we used to put GTs on the car. I'd once put Falcons on. I didn't really like them because they were noisy. Sometimes, I know it sounds daft, but they were just a really rumbly tyre and I didn't like them. And I decided I'm selling all these Churchills and I don't drive on them, so I want to see what they're like. And do you know what? I can't knock them at all. I've got the RCBO 10s on and they're the new tread pattern, which are A in the wet. And
she knows her stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She does, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You should call yourself a Tyre
I'm going to
Lady.
go and I'm going to buy some Churchills after this.
well, Charlie's got them in his Aston Martin.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah.
I suppose the insurance company.
suppose he has to.
The advert on TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do think they're definitely a good mid-range tyre.
But that conversation, if you are partnered with a tyre, like Churchill or it could be any of them, having them on your own car and then using that in the conversation with the customer, I guess goes a long way.
Do you know what I think it does? And also previously what I've done by testing tyres with GT, I didn't just test GTs. So I've done all sorts of stuff. When we did like testing them against competitors, sometimes it was like Maxxis Toyos, GTs, Davantis. Like we tested tyres to sort of point of like no return really, and that was really good because you could say I've driven on these and I know you're not going to go this speed, but this is what happened at this. And then I also did a day with Porsche at Brands Hatch and we did the Indy circuit in.
That's a good drive for you down there.
It was so good. No, but it was
the
so
day was
worth
good,
it. It was
yeah.
so worth it. And we tested on 4 different Porsches, different tyres, and I was more impressed with Pirellis that day than I was with the Michelins because I found the Michelins were really slidey. I think they were super sports, and the Pirellis seemed to handle a lot better than what the Michelins did. But obviously that's us driving at a completely different speeds to what you would do on the road.
Were you
So.
a passenger or were you driving around?
No, I was driving on them.
Was you really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
I've
great
seen
way to
them.
get advocates of tyres, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I've seen that they do like a Pirelli day at Silverstone or whatever, and literally people can go and take different cars out with different tyres on, and I think you can buy them there and then, and they'll actually fit them in your own car
will
and
they?
stuff.
It's one of the best things I've ever done in the trade, and I want to do more of it because I think when you're selling tyres, like you need to have experienced, like even just on the wet pan. So like we did like when I went to Portugal, we did it at Portimao racetrack at the Autodrome, and we were in a Mercedes A-Class and GT when we were driving on GTs, and we were doing a moose stop. So you basically have to stop as if something had come out in front of you and test how quickly it brakes. So we tested like against different competitor tyres. And that was really fun because like you don't think, you want to know if those tyres are going to stop, don't you? Obviously you have to have the brakes as well. But then we went to like the skid pan afterwards, and when we did it at Ascari in Spain, there was a full wet track where there was like water squirting at the sides, and then you had to see how the car handled aquaplaning, and like it's
So you've got a good excuse to travel the world basically,
Yeah,
and that's
it
what you
was-
want to do.
Testing
yeah,
tyres.
Yeah. And you'll do you go anywhere in the world, or we got
anyway. In case anyone
Yeah,
wants to
you
hit
could
me
do that in Blackpool if you want, you know.
it rains a lot here. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, but it is one of those things that you do buy a tyre and you do trust in it, but you hope you never have to actually use it to that sort of degree. So for you to have had that experience and you can try, it's quite clever from the tyre companies, isn't it? Because I'm guessing that you would use some of that experience in the sales conversations you have with your customers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I did a day in August last year. I did a day with Maxis, and we had Maxis on a competition BMW, and we did it with Chris Harris as well. And Chris Harris took the BMW out and absolutely gave it some. He's a professional driver in it, and he came back and he said, "I'm actually really impressed with those tyres." So do you know,
That's a good advocate for it. Yeah.
There's all different things to do, and I think when you can give your customer that experience, they're like, okay, yeah, no, okay, maybe I'll go for those. So
yeah. So what's so the Tyre Lady? How is that affecting Westgate? Like, are they separate things?
So it is separate.
Yeah.
But I think the difficulties I get with the Tyre Lady is a lot of people. It is. I don't know how to answer that question. Can you ask me that question again?
So they are separate entities, but is the line quite blurry between the two, or is it like quite easy for you to separate yourself as the Tyre Lady away from Westgate Tyres, or is it?
I think so.
Do they benefit from each other, or
the business definitely benefits from it. I don't know if maybe my mum definitely sees it. I don't know whether Dad sees it as much, because I think it benefits because like I've been on TV, and then like obviously when people know me, they know me from Westgate Tyres. So I think, especially like press, people write anything about me. It always says Sophie Lyden, the Tyre Lady from Westgate Tyres, so people know that I've come from a business.
Well, it adds authority, doesn't it? Like you're from the industry.
Yeah. So I think the Tyre Lady in itself is just almost was like a personal brand that I set up, but I mainly set it up so that the business could then start supporting sort of road safety organisations like the fire service, the police, and I trained like the council and everything on like tyre safety stuff, because not always they can be seen to be associating with a business, and I think that was mainly because they can't be seen for like favouritism. So
right, yeah, that's a good point actually.
I used to be called Fresh Drivers UK, which was
I remember that.
Yeah, it was meant to be like a young drivers support network, so or even just a fresh driver, someone who's just passed the test, so that they could basically use my social media for like how to do your basic checks, all that kind of stuff. But then I felt like it really wasn't fitting for me, and the Tyre Lady really fit better because it was somebody I can still be at work, but then also we can separate from, but the business still benefits from it. And like we've been sent equipment, you know, like machinery for free. So like my dad's buzzing because
your dad sees the
what was the first sort of thing was on social media that kind of popped and opened the door or a connection with somebody?
What that made me think I'm going to start keeping on doing this?
Yeah, that kind of thought actually there's some real benefits to this that I didn't.
I think it was the first post I did on LinkedIn, and it reached over 200,000 people, and it was just a post about a really bad tyre.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh my God, people actually like me talking about this.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So I'm going to start talking. And in one of my posts
Is LinkedIn your best platform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think because I post on there religiously, I've not done it this week, but like I usually do all the time, it's where I get seen the most. Like I put a post about my friend hitting a pothole in Bolton the other week, and that has reached over 80,000 people. And then I did a post about a certain delivery company's tyres, which have then been threatened about on the phone, which is quite interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Change tyres then.
Yeah, exactly. Do your driver checks. And that reached over 50,000 people. And like, it's just mental. Sometimes my posts go really well. Sometimes 300 people see it. But it's like the algorithm in it. So.
Yeah, and consistency of keep doing it.
But it is being consistent, isn't it? And delivering good content and interesting content.
I focus more on TikTok and Instagram. And they're the two that I just can't hack it. I love LinkedIn because it's like, that's where all my people are, like all the people I like to speak to.
Yeah. I feel like, but so if you just talk about On The Ramp's done well on TikTok.
Yeah, it has done well on TikTok.
Instagram's just... So it's just completely different. Like, if I look at the effort that we put in on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, Facebook and TikTok views are about the same. They both do really well. Instagram's just nothing.
I always feel like Instagram's more for pictures. I think because that's how it started off, didn't it?
It's like more aspirational as well, though, isn't it? And it's like talking about the garage trade or tyres is not. I don't think it's.
Yeah, like Instagram's like a restaurant showing off nice food or a nice restaurant. Sorry, a hotel. You know, it's that sort of thing, isn't it? Whereas TikTok's
not a cord popping through the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Instagram's a really hard one to crack. TikTok seems to be quite good. Like, I don't have that many followers on there, but I think I'm at nearly 4,000. And I think, like, I'm just really not consistent with it. When I'm consistent, I get more followers, but then when I'm not, I don't. And I just posted on there about I'm doing a women only evening in a few weeks with the training provider that trains my apprentices. And from
What, women only even at Westgate?
No, we're doing it at LTS.
Oh, at the training provider.
At the training
Yeah.
provider, yeah. And that's sold out. We only posted it on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Posted it on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Facebook, and we've sold it out completely. It wasn't to pay anyway, but all the tickets have gone. So it's weird. I don't.
Do you
know
enjoy
how to
it?
do
Do you enjoy what
it.
it's bringing?
I absolutely.
And
love
how do you find, like, it sounds daft, but when you are, it was a BBC News, was it BBC News or BBC Breakfast or something?
BBC Breakfast, yeah.
See, that's just insane. Like,
And is that through like a PR thing, or does that come straight to you? Or
No, so I knew they were already running a story because the two bereaved parents that they worked with. So basically, the story was meant to be talking about second-hand tyres, buying a car with tyres on and it being second-hand and like what the tyre life was. And I think when they actually started looking into the story, they were a bit like, that's not the angle we're going to go with. We're going to actually just go with why it's important to check your tyres. And there's two bereaved parents that they spoke to, and one of them was Crystal Owens, who her son was one of the 4 boys in Wales, and the vehicle lost control and they ended up in the water and they didn't find them for, I think it was like 3 days later. And I'd already been speaking to Crystal because obviously I was aware of the story, and I worked with Road Peace, which is a charity for road crash victims, and I've done loads of fundraising for them, and I've met like a few bereaved families through them, especially like Sharon Huddleston, who
that must be hard.
it is really hard. And do you know what? I love them all to bits because I listen to the pain that they've gone through, and like it's just so hard. They've lost someone at the fault of it doesn't have to be tyre, but you know, it's the fault of something on the road, and this is why it sort of stemmed me into doing this, because like those tyres were just under pressured, so they lost control of the vehicle, and it went into the water, and Crystal lost her son for that. And I think this is what people don't appreciate. You could have just an incorrect pressure, you could have no tread, that could actually kill you and your passengers or someone else on the road. So when the BBC had started looking into this story, they wanted a female tyre expert to talk about it, because they said that they've spoken to a lot of men and they just wanted a female to speak. So they just Googled tyre expert, and I was the first person to pop up. So
That's
they got in
amazing,
touch with me
mate.
on the Wednesday and then picked me up in this fancy car on Friday morning at like 5 o'clock.
How do you handle that sort of pressure?
I'm really weird. It doesn't bother me.
Is it not at all?
No, like everyone said, how do you feel about going and filming today? And I'm like, I'm not bothered. I don't get
I won't
it.
compare this to a...
Well, no, but
BBC
there's still
breakfast.
cameras.
this is loads better. This is loads more prestigious.
I didn't have any, like, I didn't feel nervous about it. I think the worst thing I was thinking was, I've literally got 2 minutes to try and say everything I need to say.
Oh,
and
so
then
it's
I
like
was
a strict slot.
I was like, oh my God.
Did you have
what do I
an
say?
earpiece in?
No,
Oh, you didn't? So it was...
I didn't even prep what I was going to say. I didn't even know what questions I was going to ask.
Really?
I was just like, oh my God.
So were they quite good to work with? They're quite relaxed? Or was
Oh,
it
they were
like...
amazing.
Were they?
Honestly, they were lovely. And Charlie and Naga, they were just like, when I walked in, they were like, you'll be fine, we're going to ask you this, blah, blah, blah. And they said afterwards, like, the questions, we didn't get to ask everything we wanted to ask. But I was the first person to take a tyre on the red couch for BBC Breakfast. I feel like that's quite a big moment for me.
From what you've been trying to achieve to that is epic.
Yeah, do you know what? It's so weird because I still can't believe I've even been on it. And then 2 weeks later, I was invited to Parliament, and then I went to a road safety event in Westminster.
Is that the ambition? Is get
Tyre
government
ambassador.
involved?
Yeah, but I think it'd take a long time.
Well, you've got a long time.
I have got.
You're
a long
very
time.
young, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know. 30 years this year.
Well, you've got a long time.
I know. I just don't know if, like, I think it's really difficult because I feel like people have tried all the time and we get nowhere with the government. But then I don't know what will be that pivotal point.
It is interesting when you say like getting worse, because if you think probably a generation or two above us, it's like you would check the oil on the car at the weekend and top up the screen wash and check your tyres probably. Whereas it feels like that is getting less and less of a thing. Like no one now probably checks their oil because it's all digital. So then you're not kind of in that mindset of looking around your car. So it is getting worse.
I
The
even
car's
try
getting
and
more
think
modern.
to myself, like, would I check my tyres at home? Like, have I ever checked my tyres at home? I have an idea of how old the tyres are and what my mileage is, so I kind of know when they're going to be kind of due. But
Yeah,
if
I
I wasn't
remember-
in the industry at all, would I have done it?
No, and
Would you have
I remember I think on the X5 once I was coming onto a motorway off a slipstream off of the slip road, and the back ends went a little bit. Oh, bloody hell! It was wet, and again the tyres were low. But again,
You're like,
yeah,
oh, I like that.
yeah, getting wearing that a bit more.
Drifting.
Yeah,
I say all the time to customers, like, we preach it, but I always say if I'd not worked in the trade, I probably wouldn't have had a clue, like, about tyres. But then, obviously, my parents have always been in the trade for as long as I've lived. So if you ask my mum has no clue. She doesn't have a clue how to check her tyres. She doesn't know what she's doing with it.
Is she not in the business at all?
She says, oh, yeah, she manages all the accounts.
Oh, okay.
But no, I don't know what I'm doing. Someone else can do it for me. But then that's a lot of, like, what our customers are like.
Yeah.
Because the dads have always done it, or the husbands, or, you know.
So you consider success as someone who's never checked a tyre in their life, they go in with a 20 pence piece and they go and check the tyres.
Yeah.
Job done.
Yeah, because if they find that bald tyre and they go and get it checked the next day. Actually, after the BBC, I had loads of new followers and I got 5 messages. And one of the message was, after I've watched you on the news, I've just been out and checked my tyres and I've got a big bulge in it. I'm going this afternoon to get it fixed. And for me, I was like, wow, because if that person had driven on the motorway and had a blowout.
But also, they've messaged you.
Yeah.
There'll be loads that didn't message you.
Oh, yeah.
And go and check.
And there was like other ones who were like, thank you so much. It's the best piece, the educational piece they've done on the BBC for a long time. I didn't know how to do this, didn't know how to do these checks. And then I think because we'd already spoke about it, then we saw the One Show took on some of the tyre safes, like ACT, which is the acronym that they use, air conditioned tread. And then they were talking about tyres and they used it again on the One Show. So I think the more people talk about it, the more important.
You really have made a difference, haven't you?
I think I have. I feel like I have.
In 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you got any ideas about what can be done then, or could be done to make it more of a thing?
I think if they raised the tread depth limit to 2
that'd
millimetres,
bring it focus,
I
wouldn't
think
it?
a lot more vehicles would be safe. And I also think that you would catch more vehicles after an MOT than what we do now. Because the amount of people who get their cars MOT'd and they advise on the
At
tyres.
2 mil.
Because they're even at 1.8.
Yeah.
And then they say,
even at 1.7.
yeah,
Like it's,
and they say, oh, it's just been MOT'd and it's passed. And it's like, no, it's passed with advisories. But people don't understand the advisories. I have said for ages, I think MOT tests need to be changed completely. And I think it should be a 2-year thing. So you should have your MOT test, and then after 6 months, any advisories need to be checked again. But, sorry, again, it's a government thing. Costs too much
If
money.
you think how strict HGVs are, with
Exactly.
tyres and daily
And taxes.
checks and that sort of stuff. And
6 weeks, isn't it? For certain.
yeah, but it's the daily checks as well, isn't it?
Oh,
That
the
they're
daily
doing,
checks,
and, that mindset's there, isn't it?
Taxi tests are so strict.
Yeah.
And then I wonder why does it matter that it's a taxi? Why can all tests not just be the same?
It's funny because you think back, do you guys MOT?
We don't MOT, but
You don't MOT. So the crazy thing during COVID was when the MOTs obviously got extended.
Yeah, that was
Right.
horrendous.
But we were having customers who were booked in for an MOT, ringing up and saying, "Oh, I'm just going to use my extension."
Mm-hmm.
But that's not. You've not been gifted extra safety on your car, but they were literally opting to choose, "I'm going to wait 6 months and get my car MOT in 6 months' time." And that's
You can understand
mindset.
you can understand it, can't you? Like, say, if they change the tread depth, that's going to bring it to everyone's attention to it,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and also, the issue is with some manufacturers, they say that their tyres are just as safe at 1.6 than they are with...
Really?
Oh, Michelin's messaging, isn't it?
Yeah, and I honestly think that is one of the biggest barriers we have, because
That's crazy.
then the government would look to the manufacturer and ask for supporting evidence as to why we should change it, and if that evidence is there and it is working on a Michelin tyre...
Is
then-
it working? Is it real?
Like, supposedly. I've never seen it. I'd like to see it face to face.
She needs another trip to where
You're probably going to try
Someone
different
just prove me
continents.
I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Prove
yeah.
to me I'm wrong. But I
somewhere
think,
in South Africa's nice to test Michelin tyres. Yeah.
but I think the first thing that we could achieve would probably be the dot codes. So obviously, commercial vehicles carrying passengers, they can't have tyres older than 10 years old. And that was down to, I think, a mum who'd lost her son in a coach incident. They managed to get it passed. I think she was called Frances Malloy, but I'm not sure. They managed to get it passed with the MOT, so like commercial vehicles can't have tyres any more than 10 years old. I think that should be the next thing that comes in for cars, because...
Yeah, why would it be different?
I was going to say, it's crazy that just because you're in that vehicle, as we all said earlier, like if a car has an accident, it's bound to affect something else, isn't it? So,
And the amount of sort of people I've come across when we've done stop check events and we've worked with the police or with whoever, the people who are actually doing the checks for that service at that point has no idea what a dot code is. But they've all been trained properly before they've gone out to do, traffic checks and stuff, but they don't actually know what they're checking on for dot codes. So I think it's really interesting. And that was the one reason I started doing what I was doing and going out and doing the training, because they get basic training, but they don't get it more in depth. So a lot of people that I've done the training with have then taken that and they've now got a passion for tyres.
Do you do anything around working with garages to improve? I know you do a bit with Tyre Safe. Is it Tyre Safe?
Yeah.
Do you do anything with garages to help them improve their messaging to customers? Has that ever been a consideration?
It has, but then I didn't know if anybody actually wanted to listen to me, so I haven't, to be honest.
Yeah.
Again, it's going to achieve what your time's probably better spent in the kind of areas you work on, isn't it? Like
yeah, but I mean, even like, for example, we sell tyres, and I don't know how good our messaging is to customers around safety. That's obviously very easy. If a tyre is 0.4 mil till it's illegal, that's quite an easy conversation to have. But generally, speaking,
if every independent decided to send out some communication to a customer database about tyres, you could instantly, within a day, educate as many people as are willing to read that.
The job of a garage is a lot of what we do is to educate customers, isn't it? And we do it a lot on the servicing side, a lot on maintenance and scheduling, and but
are we educating them or just telling them when it?
I think when it comes to servicing cars, I think it's the garage's duty to educate the customer on why you need your car servicing, definitely. Because I think a lot of customers just won't get it done. Like, how does a new driver or a fresh driver in your, back in the old scheme, how do they know when to get the car serviced?
The light comes on dashboard.
Yeah, exactly that.
Or it doesn't.
Most cars do, don't they now, though?
Most people rely on the tech in the cars, but it's the tech of telling you when you need a service, telling you when to check your pressures, or some people even ignore
BMWs now have condition-based servicing for tyres, don't they? For tyre wearing. They've got like an actual...
it does make sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how it's...
Probably tell how much it's wheel span as well, so probably calculate that. So what's the ambition then? If we sit down in 5 years' time, what's the Tyre Lady achieved?
I think I would like more independence, like what you've just touched on, to sort of take a leaf out of the book of me and what we've done as a business by focusing on like safety in their community. Because, sorry, I've got really bad throat. I think I would like them to take a leaf out of my book, because we've prioritised safety in our community through our messaging and like education, like you said, and our business has probably increased 100% over the past 2 years. Like, we've seen that we've gained a massive profit just from using road safety messages. And I think there's so many independents that could do the same thing and are probably missing out on that extra business. So I think it is something I would really like to do, to speak to businesses about how they can do it and how they can improve the messaging, because just a conversation, like you've just said, can make them sell a tyre, because they're giving that education and making sure that customer's safe. And I think I'm trying to launch something called the Tyre Lady Approved Auto Centres, which is where basically have garages across the whole of the UK who would follow under a messaging, and I'd give them like a guide pack of everything that they need to do.
Sounds like you have thought about it a little bit then.
I haven't thought about
Not thought about it too much.
Launches on Monday.
Yeah, launches on Monday.
However.
But I just, because I've got ADHD and I'm also helping my parents run the business, and then I'm obviously a mum, I've got 2 kids, and then I've got husband and 2 dogs. I just think I'm trying to do all this, and I'm just so busy that I can't.
I love how you categorise the husband with the pets as well.
Well, I was about to say man-child, but I don't know if you'd appreciate that. Sorry, I did. So, yeah, I think it's really difficult to just sit down and do it because I don't have the time. But I think it's because I'm not making the time.
The concept's solid.
The concept's there, and I think in 5 years' time I'd like to be recognised a bit more than what I am now, with like more tyre manufacturers. Like, it's really hard to
sit down with them.
Yeah, and I think because the one thing is really difficult to separate me, because obviously, yes, it's Westgate Tyres and we sell loads of different tyre brands and we have, all this different stuff, but the Tyre Lady's just on her own, but she's very knowledgeable about tyres, and tyre safety is my core message, and I would just love more people to sort of understand that and not think that I'm just Westgate Tyres, because I'm not. I'm somebody that's business-minded and wants to
You'd think they'd be all over it, wouldn't you? Because it's an advantage to them.
Well, surely. Like I said, I think it's 3 years is a short time, isn't it, for what you've done?
Yeah, it's insane, really, to be fair.
And often those things just compound, don't they? And
yeah.
So another 6, 12 months, and
I think it's benefited us massively from doing what I'm doing, but I do think it would be nice to work with more tyre brands. I think that's one thing I am missing, just because I want to be able to do more on social media and show people that are watching me like, oh, I've been and tested these tyres today and this is what could happen if it's at 1.6, this is at 3. Do you know? So
You'd be the tyre safety lady.
Yeah, pretty much.
You mentioned that you were diagnosed with ADHD. Did that come late or early?
Yeah, so I didn't know I had that until after I had my little girl, and she's 4 now. So, no, she's 5 this September. I had really severe postnatal depression, like horrendous. I used to lock myself in the house and shut the curtains.
That was around COVID,
yeah,
then, wasn't it? Yeah.
Thinking people were like trying to get me. I was quite bad
Really?
with it. And like I went to therapy and I had 10 sessions of therapy. I just wasn't myself. And I think it's mad how having kids can make you completely lose yourself altogether. And before I had Florence, I was like really big into the gym and like I think because I got pregnant and I lost the body that I'd worked so hard for, I think it was really difficult to then like try and get myself back. And I didn't realise I had postnatal depression. Well, I had it before when I was pregnant with her, I was really bad, and then had her, and then I got it even more severe afterwards. And
so if you didn't realise what you had, what made you go to therapy?
So when I found out I was pregnant with Florence, I was really low. Like I had to go to the doctors loads. I can't explain it. You just feel completely empty, like completely emotionless. Yeah. And I remember speaking to my midwife, and she was like, "You've got postnatal depression from your last child, and you haven't realised." And going
so Florence is your second child, right?
So going to the gym was like my way of coping. I had to go to the gym every single night. I wanted to go and run, and like I was obsessed with it. And I'd never realised that was due to being postnatal depressed with Jackson, who was my first child. So then I had that to deal with whilst pregnancy, all those hormones through pregnancy and everything. And then they were telling me that Florence was too small and that I was going to have her early. So I actually had Florence at 37 weeks. But I was so scared about going to the hospital. I was having panic attacks at all my appointments. Like, it's horrendous how much it really affects you. And I had her 3 weeks early and she was £8.11.
Wow. And they thought, and that was because they thought she was small?
She thought she was too small. So I remember going into hospital and I had to have my steroid injections the week before because I was at 36 weeks and she was going to come the week after. And I remember being in the hospital, like panicking. I was on my own. Eddie wasn't allowed to be with me because it was like COVID time.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like the most horrific time of my life. I said I would never have any more kids because I can't do it. And after then, I was horrendous again. And then I think... thankfully, Eddie's really been supportive, and he said to me, like, you need to go to therapy. Like, we need to get you a therapist. And I did go to therapy. I had like 10 sessions, and she literally, I spoke about everything I spoke to her about, and she went, "You've got ADHD." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You are absolutely riddled with ADHD."
Riddled.
Because she's oozing out of you.
Yeah, she's like, "How have you never noticed?" And it was like all behaviours which, like, thinking back to it now, like, I'm a really messy person. Like, my house is a mess. It's not a mess, I clean it, but like, I'm so unorganised. I'm like, I lose stuff all the time, and like, I'd obsess over certain things, and then I'm bored now. Then I'd like move to the next thing and hyperfixate over stuff. And if someone had told me that I can't do it, I'm like, don't tell me what I can't do. Then it'd go wrong, and I'm like, oh, why didn't I listen to it? Then I'd go to the next thing. So I think all of that, then I understood it, because then that's why I was like really good at certain subjects at school, like music, because I sing as well. So music was like my thing. I used to love doing it, and I passed that with like flying colours, and then that makes sense because it was something I enjoyed. So now my hyperfixation is definitely tyres, and it's never gone away because I just enjoy the persona of the
you're
Tyre
living
Lady.
the life, aren't you now? Yeah.
And I just love it. And I think being able to go to therapy, learning how to manage what made me anxious and my ADHD and how to like live with it, it's been an absolute dream.
Was that a game changer when you had that diagnosis then?
Yeah, massively.
I guess you was understanding yourself more and what you was...
Yeah, because I just, like just random stuff, like loads of my friends now, I look at them and I'm like, oh my God, you've got so bad ADHD, you just can't even see it. Like, I call one of my friends a type B friend. She's just so like all the time, like, you're riddled, mate.
You're riddled.
You're riddled. Your favourite saying.
Yeah. And then my husband's just as bad. So two of us together were like, the kids are absolutely wired too out of their heads on ADHD. We're all of us are just knackered. Really.
You know when you found out, was it a relief, or was it like, shit, I've got to deal with this, or did it just all make sense?
I think it was a relief, and I think anybody else that's like listening and has also been diagnosed, I think it's just a relief because you understand why you're so different. And like, I'm definitely borderline like autistic with some things that I do as well, which I've never noticed, because I'm like, it might sound really daft, but every single customer that comes in, I can remember the registration plate. And then like I have a customer that's DL06PAD, and I know it's Mrs. Padgett. Like that's her name. And then
Mrs. Padgett.
Yeah, and then there's like other people, and they'll drive past and like, oh, they were in for a service last week, or oh, they did this last week. And I remember my husband sits and he's like, you're so sad. Like you actually remember people's regs, and then it's just. And the other thing as well is I could never understand if my day didn't go to plan, why it affected me so much. So like in my head I'd plan, like today stressed me out getting here because the wind was bad. And I'd wanted to be here for 12:30. Obviously, I didn't get here in time. Like I got here at 1. Not that it made a difference, but that like really affects me because it stresses me out.
Yeah.
And then all the traffic lights going to red on the way here as well. That really stressed me out too.
Then they're picking on you. Then at that point,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
So I think it's just funny. And then I'm like, no, let's take a breath. It's fine. The world's not going to end.
Did that help you get over the postnatal depression then, or was it all interlinked?
I think it was probably all a bit interlinked, but I do think it helped because I understood my brain a bit more and like why things really affected me. I felt like it was easier then to manage with Florence, and obviously I had a baby with Jackson was at nursery, so he was only 3, so like I was looking after like sort of 2 toddlers and as such. And I mean, she was such a good baby because she was a girl. Boys are a nightmare, but girls, she was a dream, and she still is now. She's very like just chill. She's very much like me. She's very sassy. She's got a really good personality, and I think it shows that how I was and how I've managed to learn and like adapt myself to having ADHD. You can see the difference because Jackson, bless him, he's got so much anxiety because I must have had anxiety when I was obviously, you know, like when he was younger.
Yeah.
He gets anxious about loud noises and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, that's because of me, because
Yeah.
I used to get anxious over everything.
Did you find the therapy helped?
Yeah, massively.
Really?
It's just speaking to someone. I think when you find someone that you can speak to and then they're not related to anything that you do in your life, I think that's, I know it sounds daft, but even just having a friend as well, like Tina is like one of my biggest talking people, Tina Parker, because, well, Tina Nee, by the way. I speak at her all the time because she's not connected to my life in a sense, and she has no idea like what goes on, but then we just talk to each other about everything. And I think she's pretty much now my therapist, to be honest, but it's just nice to speak to someone and then they'll tell you like what they think, and then you don't have to do what they say. They're just giving you suggestions on what might make it easier for you. And I think because it's not someone that you live with giving you suggestions, you don't get as frustrated because it's nothing worse than an ADHD
true,
person.
have you got somebody that you can have that? Otherwise, you think, I could talk to them, but they know so and so and know that, whatever, and that's that.
Yeah. And I think when you talk to someone that's not connected to your life, it's just so much
powerful
easier.
thing,
She's a legend as well.
She's a legend, absolute legend.
But we were saying earlier, it's that whole thing of, again, once you understand why of something, it massively helps, doesn't it?
It does, massively.
Otherwise, you just think like, am I insane? Or so actually having a little bit of a understanding to it.
Yeah, I think the best thing was being able to understand why I felt like I did in my head. Like the noises all the time. Like whilst I've been sat here, you can't explain an ADHD brain, but like I'm sat here doing this, but in my head I'm thinking about, right, I'm going to have tea later when I get home. And then I've got the music that I was listening to on the way here, like the songs playing.
I might have ADHD listening to all this stuff. I'm like,
so like it is crazy. I'm also thinking like, oh, what I've got work tomorrow and what I'm doing. But then I can still talk, and it's
well, I think
crazy.
Entrepreneurial people and things, they've all, I think everyone's got, if you look at ADHD, most people have got an element of the symptoms of that, haven't they? But everyone's kind of got, especially like I say, going back to entrepreneurial people, it's that whole, we're all a bit kind of insane.
Stop, do you?
No, yeah, and it's like why you're always chasing that next thing. You don't really know why you're doing it. You're doing it, and then
I always find the quietest times for me are when I'm driving, or just before when I go to bed at night time, and I think of all these great ideas, and then I go to sleep and I forget about them in the morning.
Forget what they all are. So how's life now? Then are you in a really good place now? Is it? I'm guessing you've got that many opportunities. I guess that's quite overwhelming with what to do with this thing that you built.
Yeah,
next.
I think I'm at the state of overwhelm at the moment, but it's not a bad overwhelm. It's just a case of like, I didn't expect so many opportunities to come my way, and my mum and dad are trying to take a bit more of a back seat now. So it's me that's. And my sister.
Is the plan to take over the business?
Yeah, so they're trying to take time off, and then for me to step in and take over.
Okay.
Which when I'm there on my own, I absolutely love it. I love running the garage because I run it my way. It's organised. Dad has it organised, but sometimes it's a bit like organised chaos. So, no offence, Dad. So, okay, we've said that. So, like, when I run it, I just enjoy it because I'm in charge and we do everything.
What's going on.
Yeah, and we know what's going on, and it's just easy. And I think because I know that that's coming, and then I know, obviously the Tyre Lady's really taken off. So it's difficult to manage, both together at the same time.
Because running that business is a big
Full.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a big job.
Have you thought that the Tyre Lady could become bigger than that?
I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Because it's an industry that's really hard to sort of...
It's got to pay as well, hasn't it? That's the problem. The Tyre Lady's doing a really good thing for the right reasons, but the business is making a lot
And
of
maybe,
money.
I guess if the Tyre Lady did take off, it's then the longevity of that, isn't it? Whereas the longevity of a bricks and mortar business, tyres, is going to be quite safe,
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing I need to look at, because a lot of the time, being a female in the industry, a lot of people want me to go and speak and give opinions,
Yeah.
but don't want to pay me anything, or
Yeah.
or don't, like, you have to ask, well, are you covering this, or are you doing this? And I think that's the one thing I do find is really difficult, because at the end of the day, I'm having to take a day off work, and like, it's very difficult to manage. So I've been honoured to work with like companies this end of year and start of this year who have paid and haven't quibbled at the fact that I've said, well, I can't do it for free. So I think that's where I'm at this year, of trying, just managing my time, just making sure any project that I'm doing is worth my while.
It's worthwhile, yeah.
Have you got someone managing that?
No.
No.
Me.
Yeah.
My ADHD brain.
So that might be a good option, because it removes the emotion from
Yeah.
that conversation as well, and it can just be like, yes, they're available. This is what it's going to cost.
Yeah, it's always like that when you think one day of the week out is 20% of your week, isn't it? So it's massive.
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, I don't even know like where I want to go with it. I think I'm just kind of coasting at the moment as to like what
I
do
think
I do?
that's not. I think that's fine. I think again going back to that whole. Sometimes we don't know why we're doing what we're doing, but that will
Trust
open
it
up some
leads
doors.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of gut feeling, head with head, isn't it? And I think, yeah, you just got to keep pushing, and it's the people that do those things that do make opportunities for themselves, isn't it?
100%. You definitely make your own luck. And just from my perspective, I've known you for a few years, and seeing the pace at which you've sort of elevated yourself is quite incredible. And where it's going to, it is crazy, to be fair. I would say I don't actually know anyone who's done what you've done in the space of time that you've done it. So, and for really sincerely fantastic reasons. I don't feel like there's any motive other than literally road safety.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing I'm honoured to be known for. Someone said to me the other week, your kind of niche is safety, and I think good, because that's what I wanted it to be.
And that story of with the car accident outside, it all kind of just makes sense, doesn't it?
does.
And,
Yeah. So it's good. It's really good.
Well, thank you for coming across.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Speaking for a long
I
time.
know, yeah. How long have we talked for?
An hour and 20.
Oh my God.
It goes quick.
Probably could have carried on as well.
Well, thank you so. Well, hopefully you come back in probably a year's time at this pace.
We'll have to come to you.
I know, yeah.
that you're operating at. Thank you so much for coming across. I know it's all coming down, and it's a good old drive, isn't it? And been really enjoyed the chat. Good to hear the story, because I didn't know the full story. Now I do.
Yeah.
If someone wants to get in touch with you, how did they get in touch?
So if you go on my LinkedIn or my Instagram or my TikTok, there's a link on there. My email address is Sophie Lyden, which is Lyden, at thetyrelady.co.uk. Or you can just ring me at the garage, Westgate Tyres.
Brilliant. Okay. Right,
Thank
nice
you for
one.
having me.
No worries. Thank you
Thank you.
guys. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
Thank you.